Hey guys, this is Brad from Scorched. Today we're going to be talking about the M6A2 rifle from Lwrc. Lwrc is a relatively newer company in the game, making Armalite type rifles or stoner type rifles, depending on what you go by. Right now in the media they're calling ARs, so I'm sure all you guys kind of know what I'm talking about. If you're here looking at this, is pretty much a niche market, getting into the more high-end type rifles. But anyways, Lwrc is Land Warfare Research Center, and they pretty much redid everything from the bottom up on AR type rifles. What we have here today, with a couple enhancements of my own on there, little toys that I put on there for the shooting review, is their standard M6A2, but this model comes with a 10-inch barrel. The M6A2 is a piston, short stroke piston rifle. And for those of you that may not know or may know, I'm going to kind of go over it a little bit anyways. Piston rifle, well, let's talk about a gas impingement or direct impingement rifle. Direct impingement rifle, normally when the bullet shoots through over here, the hot gases come up and hit the gas and blow back and hit the bolt carrier group, which recoils and reloads a new round. What happens with that though is you get a lot of gases and carbon that blow back inside the chamber and dirty up and foul it quite heavily. On piston rifles, especially in the short stroke piston rifle, is the gas blows through, hits the trap, and then shoves a piston back in its bolt carrier group, and gases are all expelled up here. So you might see some dust and dirt on the front of the rifle. But what that does is it keeps this free of grime and keeps it quite clean. Now, one thing that's great about the rifle from Lwrc, all their rifles, is they're self-scraping and self-regulating. That means every time you fire, it shoots through, the carbon is scraped off the piston rod as it shoots back into the chamber before it hits the bolt carrier group. It's really quite nice. Keeps everything clean, self-scrapes, a lot of less maintenance that you have to worry about. Unfortunately, this rifle, and most piston rifles in general, tend to be quite heavy. This thing comes in at about 7.5 pounds. Now, there's a lot of weight on the front of this rifle. Alright, it's not so bad on the shorter rifles, just because holding this rifle short, so your center of gravity is pretty much right there centered on the middle of the receiver. Especially once you guys add accessories to this, it's definitely going to kick up a little bit in the pounds. Now, what this comes with, kind of talk a little bit about it right here. This is pretty much a standard or basic model. I did upgrade and put the Myad grip from Magpul on here, just to fix my hand a little bit better. I did not go for the the Magpul stock. A little spendy for what you get. I don't really have that big of an issue for it. I don't need to be carrying batteries around, so on and so forth. On this, when it comes to the shooting demo, will become a little bit more apparent. I got a Gen 4 BCM charging handle, one-hander, right here. It's medium size. It actually works great, especially with gloves. I don't know if you can kind of see how far it sticks out right there. So it allows really for one-handed operation. This barrel is a heavy barrel. A little bit thicker than a standard AR barrel. So what that's going to offer is a lot more heat transferability and a lot more ruggedization and a longer life out of it. It also is free floated in here. So there's nothing attached to the rail. You can see up in here. And what that means is you're going to have a lot better harmonics, which on a clunky rifle like this really helps out on the accuracy quite a bit. I did do my upgrades that I like. I got my angled forehand grip from Magpul on here as well. Really didn't like it at first. A lot of you think it may look funky. Try it on somebody else's rifle. I think you actually might like it. It works quite well. Now, this barrel is a 1:7 twist ratio, so you can shoot heavy rounds out of it. Getting up to your 79 grain OTMs, so on and so forth. But you can always go down to your varmint rounds at 40 grains. It works pretty much with everything. Now what I want to get into is some of the specifications on Lwrc rifles in general. Lwrc invented the NICOR process. And what NICOR is, I have it written down here because it's pretty technical. NICOR, first of all, is tougher than parkerization. It's a very rugged treatment that they do to the steel. It's a low temperature nitro carburizing treatment followed by an oxidation and impregmentation phase. What that really means to us is that it imparts excellent wear resistance, increased yield and fatigue strength, lubricity, and corrosion resistance. So what you're looking at here is a guaranteed 2 to 3 time life out of the barrel. So for a couple extra bucks, I know these things aren't necessarily cheap, you're going to get a gun that's going to last twice as long. I'm going to kind of break it open, if you can come a little closer here, and we're going to kind of look at some of the internal components that we have. I'm breaking this open. You're going to notice right away, especially those of you that are used to your standard GI type bolt carrier group. Bolt, for the most part, looks about the same. You're going to notice it's a slightly fatter back here, grooved, everything's rounded. This is some of the early piston prototypes had problems with the bolt carrier group. Instead of sliding back and forth to come at an angle, so they beefed up these little pads back here and angled them down. And so thus far from all the wear tests that I've seen, there have been no issues of anything breaking like it used to. You're also going to notice that something's missing from up here from your standard AR bolt carrier. Now normally you have this little tube that sticks out right here, and that connects to the gas chamber. Well, since this is no longer a gas system, all this is, if you can see right here, is this little strike plate. And the piston comes in, smashes down against the strike plate, and it follows through just like normal AR operation. Now some of the cooler parts, if we look inside on our bolt carrier group right here, you're going to notice right away that the bolt is slightly different. This is a dual spring inside here, and it also has a Parkerized extractor. Extremely tough, and it's going to give you a lot longer lasting life. And before I get trolled on the internet, I know this thing is oiled. With this you don't really need to oil it, but you got to understand where I live, and if I store guns, I don't want my guns to be sitting there in a wet environment. So oil is more for protection, and everything gets wiped down before we shoot. Alright, just let me assemble this back together. Sorry about that, guys. Don't have an extra one to swap in and out though. So pretty much standard. I'm going to kind of show you guys real quick inside. See right here, sorry for the low light. But you'll notice right away, it looks pretty standard from what you're used to. You got your brass deflector coming along the side. Inside here, star chamber is normal. I don't know if you can really see down there, but instead of the gas tube, what you have is the piston rod. So that's pretty much all that's normal right there on these LWRCs. Okay, that's pretty much it. Kind of showing you on the LWRCs how they work. It is a standard mil-spec rifle, and those of you guys out there want to argue mil-spec, no mil-spec, what does it mean? It's garbage. I'm only really referencing that, so if you do upgrade stocks, put on any external components down here, there is a commercial sales and mil-spec sales for this little retaining pin that slides up in here. So when you if you do get one of these rifles, you will need to get the mil-spec items. What it is this little pin about that big, slightly shorter than the commercial size. But if you had the commercial size, it would not fit. I'm going to kind of go over the aesthetics on this a little bit more. You'll notice it's very clean. There's no rattle. This rifle is very well put together. The gapping is almost non-existent. So this isn't your standard off-the-shelf Bushmaster, Colt, anything like that. This is really how it is. Everything's stamped LWRC all the way across the top. And notice one thing extra that's kind of neat too. You got, instead of your safe and fire, you got your no bullet, one bullet, and multiple bullets. Now all receivers are marked that, even though this is not a fully automatic weapon. So all you gun control people can rest easy. I'm not going to be spraying and praying anytime soon. Coming back over here, really neat function, or addition they have, non-function, is we have a little American flag right here. Just a little touch of patriotism. These rifles are all 100% made in America. So you don't have to worry about either inferior parts or getting something from overseas, helping fund terrorism or whatnot. And a good old homegrown American. Come back over here. This model is not a left-hand model or a ambidextrous model. It's your standard right hand where everything operates. Left hand right here, brass is all ejected out of the right hand side. Alright, so overall, this is pretty much what we're looking at here. I can talk a little bit about the sights. These are LWRC skirmish sights. They're actually Parkerized metal. They're actually quite nice. Didn't look as nice in the picture as they are in real life. They do have a nice stand-up feature, so if you do use optics, you can pretty much see through, which is one of my requirements. So I kind of like those. Basically, you push the button in right here, and it folds down. Got the full rail. You got your two covers over here. These are really nice. This is Picatinny rail right here is quite sharp, so these grips really help. One thing I want to talk about is the piston system and how we do our maintenance. Say you wanted to get in there, you're just wondering, how hard is it? Well, it's not. It's really quite easy. There's two screws right up front. This just lifts right off. You have full access right here to the piston system. As you see, it's quite secure, very sturdy, and it's really easy to get to. And this is a zero back on here. So what that means is you take it off to do any maintenance on it, it's going to be zeroized. So if you had anything attached to it, you didn't need to worry. It's going to be right back to where you want it to be. Really easy to screw back in. Definitely field serviceable, which is a plus. And you don't really have to worry about gaps or anything getting in there, any dirt, dust, water, grime. So pretty much this is it right here. Oh, one other addition I did want to talk about real quick is you'll notice on these rifles what we have is these grooves down here. Notice it's a lot fatter. Normally on a normal one kind of goes up about that height right there. With this right here, what this allows us to do is get in there with the glove. So you can see I almost fit 2 fingers in there quite comfortably. So that's kind of a neat function right there as well. That's really about it. Next segment, what I'm going to do is take this up to the hills, and we're going to give you a little demo on its reliability. Try to tell everybody that when we're looking, like what gun should I get? What weapon should I get? What's the first thing I do? First thing I tell somebody is figure out something that feels good in your hands. Alright, then what you need to do second, is if you don't like how it feels, it's not going to really matter. Second is reliability. A lot of you are going to be like, no, accuracy is the first thing or second thing. The reason I'm saying accuracy as my third requirement is with today's technology out there and all these CNC machines, pretty much most rifles are going to have a deviation of 1 MOA, up or down. It's really not going to matter that much, especially at what most people are going to use these for. Now I can understand if people are worried about an accuracy on, you know, looking at our Savage BAs or a Barrett, something like that, where it matters when you're reaching out to 1,000 meters. But in this, reliability is the #1 thing after how it fits in your hands. So we're going to put that to the test. Got some ammo right here. Got good ammo, Black Hills. I got just standard American Eagle Tactical. And I got a few varmints. I got a few steel cases, and I got a handful of reloads that we're going to put through there and see how it handles everything. So that's it. Thank you guys for your time, and I look forward to the next iteration. If you have any questions, guys, go ahead and feel free to give me an email. Scorchedbrass.com. That's www.scorchedbrass.com. Check us out. We now have a forum as well as free gun classifieds for those of you that it's legal in your state. Any questions, again, give us a holler. Thanks for your time.